I can't do that yet. I was hoping I could do the wheel. Not yet. Unfortunately, not yet.
Why don't you read your email? I sent them to you before I left. I'm not the one with the attitude. You're just on a power trip.
Okay.
A whoop-de-doo-dah. Team leader. Yeah, you're so important, Barry. Get over yourself.
One second. Need to charge my phone. Yep, 13%. Yeah, needs to be charged. Alright, that's charging. Let's get back to it. So, I've done all the mandatory stuff that you can actually select. Now I need to get the equipment. I do like that about this DLC. As much as I hate this DLC that they dropped with the chop shop, I do like that it's kind of like single player, where there's, instead of the setups and stuff, like all the preps and stuff being set up fully at the board, a lot of it is just you gotta find it. I do like that. Although it's a bit too, it's still a bit scripted. I would like them to have had like random vehicle spawning on, you know, if you need like weapons, weapons vehicle spawns and drives around the map, sort of like in single player. The issue, as I guess, is that obviously other people might go and fuck with it, but I'm sure there's ways that they could have got around that. The LS Panic. Okay, for a duffel bag. Ah. Yeah, nothing sus about this at all. You know, going behind the counter where there's a lady on her own. Like, there's nothing sus about that. Nothing weird about that. Ah, who would have thought he wouldn't have paid? Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. Who would have thought? Yeah, I do like them though. I do like those prep missions. I do think that's a cool setup compared to doing them from the board like in all the other jobs. I would like them to... They've really spent a lot of time improving a lot of the previous heist mechanics in the last few years. So I'd like to see them take all of these new mechanics that they've obviously put effort into and then make them into an actual heist instead of these half-assed jobs. Hopefully this year, we'll see. Hey Brassy, how you doing? How you been? I'm just chilling, bro. I'm just doing some of these auto shop missions because I have to, and I don't really want to, but I got to. I've got to do probably about 12 more of these. Actually, no, not 12. I've got to do like 30 more of these. I've got to do 12 weeks worth of them. You're locked in on school, you had 5 courses this semester. Ah, that's the worst when you got lots of stuff to deal with at the same time. You messed up last year, but you smashed them and got your first day ever. Oh, congratulations. That's very good. That's very good indeed. Nice way to kind of rebound after messing up last year, you know? Locking in does work. You know, it sucks having to lock in, but it does work. I will say that. It's one of the things that I hate about it. You know, you gotta really lock in sometimes, but The results do speak for themselves. You stepped on 9:30 off. It was worth it though. I mean, you know, other than just sucking in the moment, you know, it pays off. You just have to, that's the thing, whenever these things come up and you gotta lock in, you just have to remember, what are you doing it for? You know, you're doing it for the outcome. And that outcome is it's a great feeling when you manage to succeed. Alright, thank you, Jamal. You want to study more. Now that you've got a taste of that success, you want to study more. No, that's good. That's a good mindset, you know. If you can if it ends up with you actually, you know, really locking in and grinding it, you know, that can only be a good thing, right?
Shithead! Fucking Franco just got hit!
I mean, it's the perfect time to it is the perfect time to do that kind of thing, you know. It's not like there's much going on in the gaming world at the moment. It's a bit everything's a bit stale, so it's perfect time for it. You thought you were dumb in that, but you just end up getting it. That's oftentimes the case, I feel, with a lot of things. You know, a lot of times it's everyone has like different speeds. And sometimes sometimes you need a little bit more. You know, you have to have a little bit more kind of grind and study than other people. Some people don't have to do anything, and they're locked in. They can just do it. They could just wake up and they could do it. You know, some people are very lucky like that, but then other people, you know, you don't have that, and you got to study a little bit. But it doesn't mean you're dumb. It just means you need to study a little bit more. Some people are just very naturally gifted, and some people can still achieve very well. They just need to lock in. You know, one of my friends I had at school, he was so naturally gifted. He never studied, and he was always getting the highest grades. But then there was loads of other people in my school. There were some people in my school that, back in the day, that I thought, you know, I remember like talking to them, and they were saying, "Oh, you know, I'm not gonna be able to do much." And I remember they got like, you know, like C's and D's and stuff at school, and then now I find out that these dons have got degrees, and you know, they're teachers and shit, and I'm like, oh, that's calm, you know, that's actually crazy. Like, it just goes to show really that you can turn anything around, really. Sometimes, you know, some subjects you just never resonate with, and that's okay too. Like, sometimes you just never resonate with a certain subject, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you can't get blood from a stone, but I think with a lot of times, a lot of things, it is just, yeah, you need to lock in, and if you get like that feel for it, and you're lucky and you have that feel for it, yeah, you can achieve. It's just, yeah. But no, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that you're doing well with it, and you've locked in, and you're getting the results that you want, so hopefully it continues. Twitter feature where you can see the location user KC negative 25 IQ. Could have just seen Saudi there, bro. KC negative 25 IQ. Bro, you gotta help me there. I'm lost here. I'm lost. It's been a long time since I've used Twitter, so I don't really I know they added that I know they added the user thing where they're located, but I I'm not sure what the rest of it is. Oh, JB. Oh, I get it now. I get it now. Right, I haven't thought about him in like... I haven't thought about KC and all that, like that name in fucking... like ages. Oh, that's true actually. That is true, because you could see on the thing that he's from Saudi. That is true. That is true. He sent you a stream link. Oh, is he streaming now? What's he streaming? What's he up to? What's he streaming? NBA or whatever. GTA, really? That's cool. I'm glad that he's doing something, you know. I'm glad I'm glad that he's making something of his time. He's, you know, he's not just like, if anything, I'm actually very thankful that he's doing something. That he's not just getting here. He's not just coming here and trying to like cause issues. Because that was always the issue with JB, is that, you know, he could be very problematic in the back in the day, because he would always try to come back to the stream even when he got banned. So I was a little bit worried that he would do that again, but he's actually been really good. He's just been doing his own thing, so that's really good for him. I'm happy about that, really. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, I still don't like what he did. I still don't like that he was acting that way. But I don't have any like hate for him. I wish he would just get help. I just wish he would like, you know, I wish he had support. I wish he had a support system around him, because it doesn't help that his support system is his cousin, who is fucking toxic as shit, and then his parents, who probably don't know much about what he's up to. I just wish he had the appropriate support to give him, you know, the help he clearly needs. He's got a girl now, for real. The girl that works with his parents. Oh, that's good. I hope that that's actually the case, and he's not just making up like he does with all the other stuff. I hope that I wish him the best if that's the actual case. There we go. He changed his profile pic selfie for... oh no. He does that. To be fair though, he's done that in the past with other girls that he wasn't with, so it's a bit concerning, but at the same time, it's nice because it's not my concern anymore, you know? Like, I haven't got to worry about him anymore. I haven't got to think about it, so if whatever he does, that's his own choice. If he, you know, if he fucks it up and does something weird, that's his own thing. I'm glad that I don't even have to worry about him anymore. You know, I'm glad he's not going to be coming to the stream and the server and stuff and like giving us his life story about how, you know, this has gone wrong or this has changed, or about his... I'm just glad. Like, it's a nice... it's peace. It's peaceful. I like it. That's one thing that everyone said, that what's nice is that it's peaceful, you know? It's really peaceful now. No, you haven't got to have, you know, two stupid clowns always fighting each other over the most stupid of things. Put it nicely, you know? Which I do like. I mean, don't get me wrong, yeah, it's a bit quiet at times, and, you know, I do sometimes miss the action, but at the same time, I'm at peace. Like, I don't know, I don't even think about it. I mean, I don't stream as much now. I've been really busy with my own stuff recently, so I've not had time to really stream anyway, so it's actually been perfectly timed. But yeah, I don't know. It's nice. It's a nice piece. So I'm hopeful that it will stay that way, and you know, hopefully it doesn't change. Although if it does, I've already discussed it with like everyone, and everyone's kind of in agreement that we're not gonna, even if like they both decided to come back at some point in the future, they're gonna have like very little leeway. We've already talked about how we're gonna deal with these things, so we want to keep it like this. So if we'll see what happens, but I'm hopeful that it, you know, nothing will happen there, and you know, if it does, then well, people just get banned, because I don't think anyone's got the effort or the energy or anymore for it. But I think we'll kind of past that. And yeah, let's just focus on GTA 6. That's all I really care about now, is just, you know, GTA 6 at the end of the year. I don't have time or energy to worry about any of this stuff. Duggan, robbery, challenges. I need to look up these challenges before I do this.
Wait till you drive that car out of there, boss. If arena war is art, and it is.
15 headshots, disable target vehicle on first attempt, and reach Hal's workshop in 1 minute. Easy. Cool.
I have a rough idea of what people expected when they bought tickets.
New motherfuckers coming on GTA 6. Maybe, I don't know. I have no idea, to be honest with you.
Still, should be a show, right?
I really, honestly, like, just thinking about it, I've been talking to, like, a few people about it, like, on stream recently, and I'm like, I don't even know if, even if there weren't, like, new people in GTA 6, I don't even know how that's gonna go, because the mentality of the newer Dons is very different. And I remember a couple weeks ago, we had a new guy come by, and he was very, he was just very, he had very different idea of how streaming should be. He was very adamant that I would minimize any loading screens. As I was in a loading screen for about 10 seconds, and he was getting annoyed with it. He was saying, oh, you know, less loading screens, more content. I was like, bro, chill, like, give me a chance to think and to yap, and he just did not like that. He did not like the fact that I didn't just skip the loading screen by going to single player first and then load into online rather than just go straight to online. I was like, bro, it's like a difference of 10 seconds, so... no, I don't know how it's gonna go with that lot. The newer Dons are so, yeah, they're very different, so... We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, but... I won't lie though, AF, I can't lie, AF, he's killed a lot of my enthusiasm for streaming, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I've had other things going on anyway, so I've not streamed as much, but I don't have that same enthusiasm anymore that I did, say, you know, even just at the beginning of the year. AF really did kill a lot of that, which is, yeah, he killed a lot of it. Yeah, it was like, everything was looking up, you know, everyone was excited, you know, new year, new, you know, GTA 6 year and all that, everyone was excited, everyone was ready for the next thing, and yeah, I can't lie, I think everyone agrees with that, everyone's saying it, everyone's agreeing with it, everyone's just like, yeah, it's just, AF has just killed so much momentum with what he did, completely unnecessary. Completely unnecessary thing. Killed the momentum. All the tournaments and stuff that we were gonna do, not gonna do it now because of AF. He basically did. So I guess, you know, he can be very proud of that, I suppose. He can be very proud of the fact that he had an effect. You know, that was what I think he always wanted. He always wanted to have that big effect on things, and he certainly did. He had a giant effect. He managed to effectively kill the momentum. So, like, GG's to him, honestly. GG's to him. He did a good job on that. But, yeah, I guess we'll see. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm not 100% sure how it's going to go. Oh, yeah. Okay. Sure. Wow. Okay. Bro, they could not make these guys any stronger if they tried. Is there a challenge for not dying? I don't think so. The combat's greater than the setback. Yeah, I suppose so. I suppose so. I think it's just because, like, this year is very busy for me. And so, even if I do want to, like, spend the time, I don't have as much actual time to do that. So, yeah, it's going to require a lot of work if I do. I mean, it probably won't be until the second half of the year that I even start thinking about it too much. But hey, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
You see any of those camera drones in the spectator box? They're all fitted with EMPs in case of emergencies. Or, you know, trolling. You should use one to stall the car so you can catch it. Now, if I remember it right,
Things can change very quickly in a year. You never know.
next to it should be a tablet there to control the drone.
All right. EMP. The best thing to do here is just wait. Oh yeah, it's almost, it's getting to summer and all the World Cup and all that. I know that everyone's excited for that. I know that Dean and Joe are really excited for the World Cup. So at least that'll be some nice energy there.
Don't let them get the car running again once it's down.
Yeah, that'll be some good energy. I think that will really boost a lot of people's spirits, because I know the Dean and I know it can be a bit difficult in the wintertime. You know, everything's a bit dark and dreary, and yeah, I definitely think that will be a nice boost to a lot of people's spirits. Will be the summer. I know that I'm always in a much better mood in summer just because I get to sit in the sun, and I really like that. Bro.
Remember to activate that bypass module once you're in the car. They'll just shut the
Rockstar, you need to calm down with some of these enemies. Oh, fucking hell, Jesus Christ. Yo, that's nuts. That's nuts. I mean, you know what? It'd probably help if Rockstar actually put some good modes on. They put, oh, what's it called? Sumo on 2 weeks ago, I think it was, and we couldn't actually play it because it was set up in a way that it wasn't in the featured modes list, so no one could join it. And it really sucked because we were excited to play Sumo and we just couldn't play it. Like, just could not play it. No one joined. Like, no randoms would join. And then last week they put Hunting Pack Remix on, but it wasn't a good week because there was a lot of stuff happening. So it's just like, you know, it's just frustrating. It's frustrating that Rockstar is so stingy with their modes. Hey Kaylin, how you doing? No notification. Typical. Doesn't surprise me, to be honest with you. Oh, wrong one. Have I seen DLSS 5? Yeah, I have. Using AI to basically just replace the faces is certainly a choice.
like bomb beeping? Fuck, dude. They must have been planning to blow this up as part of the show or something.
When did DLSS come out? 5. It hasn't come out yet, Kaden. They're just showing it off, but it's it changes the games way more than it should. The faces look really nothing like what the developers intended, which is a bit off. I'm not a fan myself. I'm a big fan of the art style of the game developer, and I'm not a fan when companies like Nvidia go, ah, yeah, let's change that, you know? Okay, I think I've done it. Yeah, when it comes out, Kaylin, I think that, I mean, you can probably turn it off. Like, you probably won't have to have DLSS 5 if you don't want. You can probably turn off those features in particular. Can't let evil take over. Yeah, we'll see about. We'll see. I'm not gonna lie. I've said this on stream to some others. I genuinely, because of AF and the JB situation, I genuinely was considering stopping streaming. Like, no joke. I was like, you know what? If this is how it's gonna be, fuck this shit. I'm done. I really was close to it. I was very close to it. I was very much like, you know, I can't be fucked dealing with this. You know, dealing with children. So I did stick around to it. I didn't actually quit in the end, but then other things start happening, and I've got lots of stuff going on, loads of stuff happening all around family and stuff to do with
Catch you later.
fucking houseworks and all sorts of different things, health, you know, I've got loads of stuff going on at the moment, so I was like, you know what, I don't need this shit. I don't need people like AF and JB being absolute pain in the asses. But yeah, I mean, I'm still here, I'm still doing it. I'm not gonna stop just yet, but I'm not gonna lie, yeah, they got, you know, that was the closest I came to just stopping streaming. So yeah, honestly, AF he did a fucking great job. You know, he always said that he wanted to cause stirs. Well, he certainly did a good job of it. He certainly did a good job. I'll give him that. He couldn't have come up with a better idea than that. Salvage parts, get rid of that. But any games that use it? No, no games use it at the moment because it's not come out yet. But once it comes out, you can probably turn off the generative AI features. You can probably just use it as a simple upscaler like DLSS 4.5. Yeah, you didn't have to go down that way. I mean, like I said, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm glad that now we know about JB because, you know, but at the same time, it's like, there is that aspect of, well, it would never have, like, you know, he was catfished, you know what I mean? Like, there's like two parts of it in a way. There's like, you know, the part of it which is, you know, he was obviously capable of it, but then there's the question of, well, would he have done it? You know, if it wasn't for the fact he was catfished, like, you know, that's the question. It's like, you know, anyone's capable of murdering, but would they do it unless if they're provoked? That's, you know, like, if, you know, I don't want to kill someone, but if someone was attacking, you know, like a loved one of mine, I might end up, you know, I would potentially end up killing someone, but it's not like I want to go out my way to kill them, you know? So this is the issue, is like, you know, that's the issue with this situation is that you can't really be too sure. Sucked. Yes, I've seen the Predator Catch and Viz. I'm not a big fan of a lot of the modern ones because it's just a vigilantes like going around like just trying to find vulnerable people to fuck you know, to fuck with, and yeah, that's the issue. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I definitely think that he's obviously up for it, but like, That's the issue. Is like, would he have done anything? I don't know. I mean, this Don is definitely not capable of actually going places. Let's be real. He never knew how to use the fucking subway until recently, and even then, he only goes places where his parents allow him to go. So I don't think he's gonna go and I don't think he's gonna actually go and try to meet up with someone. But the problem is that it's obviously the fact that he said he would. It's not a good look, and yeah, so obviously, you know, can't do anything about that. It's just. I mean, like I said, that's why he got the permaban. At least, you know, he got the permaban from Discord. He's got the 2-year ban from the stream. You know, he got the punishment that he needs. You know, he got the punishment that he needs. That's that. It's just the AF side of it. It's because it's like what JB done is it's sick, right? What he said he would do is sick, right? It's a sick thing to do. It's a sick thing to even consider, right? I think we can all agree with that. It's a sick thing. It's a sickness. But the thing about AF is that that's more evil. You know, I don't think JB's evil. I think he's just, unfortunately, he's obviously not fully aware of his age. Like he still thinks he's like a 12-year-old. The way he acts, the way he thinks, the way he does stuff, he obviously still has that mind, that age. In his head, he's still a kid. You know, the JB that I know now is no different than the JB I knew when he first came to the stream when he was 14. He's pretty much the same. He's not developed. He's not changed. Nothing. And so I look at him and I don't have hate when I look at him. I just think I'm just sad because it's like he clearly needs he clearly needs support. He needs a cousin that's not stupid. He needs a cousin who actually cares about him. And he needs a family, like a mum and a dad that keep up with what he's up to, and like if he starts showing these kind of, you know, these kind of the mentality of what he's doing with, you know, what he wants to, you know, how he talks to children, they should be intervening early on, and they should be getting him therapy. You know, they should be getting him seen by a therapist, psychiatrist, and all the different people that could get him, you know, the help that he needs to not think that way, or at least to act that way. But the problem is that he doesn't have that. He doesn't have that support that other people do. You know, like Gaz has the support. You know, yeah, like exactly, Caitlin. Like Gaz has support. Like Gaz is definitely someone I could see. He knows it's wrong, and so he doesn't do it because he knows he's right. We've told him so many times that he can't do that, and we've told him in the past that you know, just to be safe, Gaz, just don't talk to kids, just to be safe. That way, no one will ever. There will never be any issues with you. You know, just remember, if you avoid kids, you never have to worry because there can be nothing can ever come back at you. But the problem with JB is he just does not fucking get that, and he. Again, I don't have hate when I see JB. I don't have hate. I don't look at him and think and with disgust and hate and frustration. I just think it's just sad. You know what I mean? It's just sad. I just wish that he had the support. I think maybe in the UK or a European nation he might have got the support he needs. But then I have to remember it's fucking America where maybe his family can't afford to get him things like therapy. You know what I mean? Like maybe they can't afford to get him that help that he needs. Whereas over here, I think he would, you know, in the UK and Europe, I think he would get the support he needed for free. So, or for very low cost. But I mean, that's the thing. I have to remember that he's in a different country. He's in a country where healthcare is not for everyone. It's just for the people that can afford it. Hey, Dean, I'm just chilling, bro. How you doing? Dean, I was supposed to do what's it called, Monster Hunter today, bro. And then Rebecca was gonna come on. We were gonna do Monster Hunter, and then guess what? Her boss tells her, "Oh yeah, we need you on Wednesday." So she then had to go into an early, which meant she would have had like 6 hours of sleep. And then because of that, she ended up having to get a change of tomorrow, so she couldn't come on tonight because she has to go up tomorrow. So, yeah. That's very frustrating. So yeah, we're unfortunately not Monster Hunter today. This is what I mean. This is why streaming's so difficult. Because like I can never get anything planned because things change like on a whim. So, oh, you're busy all week. No worries, bro. Honestly, bro, I'll try to figure out another time, and we'll try to get it done. Maybe if it's not this week, next week. I'm not in a rush. You know, I want to do it. I'm not in a rush though. I can always do GTA on the days where like people are busy or whatever. It's not an issue. I like doing GTA. I like doing these jobs. I like to finish them. You know, see how close I am with a lot of these now. Look at these. Look how close I am with a lot of these. So I'm fine with doing that. But I'll try to get something sorted, bro. I'll try to get something sorted for you, and Rebecca and all that. And I'll see if Joe's up for it. I don't know if Joe's up for it, but I'll ask him and see if he's up for it. Sadly, Obama screwed up. Oh, the issue is Obama wanted to do more, Kaylin, but the Republicans stopped him. They blocked him. He couldn't do more what he wanted. The original plan for the Democrats when Obama came in was to do a lot more like universal healthcare, a lot more like the European models, but it got blocked by the Republicans, which is very sad. America could have had a proper one, proper healthcare system. But you're saying Trump got... Oh, I mean, yeah, Trump's doing everything he can to get rid of it, yeah. But I don't think it's fair to say Obama screwed up. He just didn't have the option to do more. It doesn't matter anyway. Even if he did, they can reverse it anytime they want because it's not in the Constitution. Some genius put guns in the Constitution, but not healthcare. Let's play Fortnite new season. I'm not gonna lie, after what they announced with the V-Buck change, I'm not a fan of the whole Fortnite. You know, the fact that they're reducing the V-Bucks now in the past to 800 V-Bucks and they're not giving any free V-Bucks anymore is disgusting. And yeah, I've cancelled the crew as well because I'm not paying £10 for like 800 V-Bucks a month. Yeah, it's crazy what they're doing to that. That's yeah, anyway, so that's for JB. Yeah, it's just I just feel more sad towards JB more than anything. I just feel like he needs help. He needs support. He needs a care worker that helps him. Let's be real. Let's be 100. He needs a care worker. But they good luck with that. As I said, the person I'm angry at is AF. I don't hate JB. I just feel bad for him. AF, he's as far as I'm aware, he knows better. He knows, you know, he's as far as I'm aware, he's not on any spectrums. He's not got any mental health issues. No reason for him to be acting and moving like that. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling on it. I did read AS messages. Yeah, I read his messages, and I just didn't want to say anything. He didn't, because the problem is his messages were basically saying that he fully disagreed with what I said, and he told me about how he never intended this shit, blah blah blah. He told me a bunch of stuff about how he had full proof of JB talking to a 15-year-old girl 2 months beforehand. He didn't tell us that. He never showed us any proof. He never showed us any proof of that, and I don't know why he would sit on that for 2 months if he knew. And yeah, it was just a load of nonsense, so I just ignored it. It's just a load of nonsense. Again, if you knew about this stuff like 2 months beforehand, like let's say if you knew about this stuff back in that would have been what, November? Why did he not say anything? Why did he not send us any pictures or anything? You know what I mean? Because that's what his argument was. His argument was that was that he catfished to prove what he already knew from evidence that he had gained 2 months before. Yeah, no one sits on that information for 2 months. He never told us any names. He never showed us any evidence. He sat on it. In theory, if hypothetically, he would have sat on that for 2 months before anything happened. And then from what I've seen of all the messages he sent JB, the beginning of the conversation had nothing to do with him catfishing to get information about this. Like, the whole first part of the conversation felt so disjointed. Like, it was just him fucking around. Like, it was such a disjointed messages at the beginning. And then he gets a dick pic from JB. He asks JB for a dick pic before he asks or tells JB his age, his fake age. So if his intention was to catch him out for talking to young kids, why the fuck would he get a dick pic first and then ask, or then tell him his age and get him to say that stuff? That's my issue. Is like, if you know, my theory, if it was me catfishing and I wanted to catch someone out, I would tell them my age early on to see if you know, like my thing, I would send the messages, I would talk for a little bit, and then maybe for like after maybe 10 minutes, I'd say, oh, I'm only 13. Is that okay? And then see if he continues the conversation. But he had a whole conversation with JB first, got him like hooked on the whole idea of him being like, oh, you know, baby, and saying all this weird shit. And then he got the dick pic from JB, and he asked for it, by the way. He asked for JB to send him something. He didn't say send a dick pic, but he said, I want you to send me, or I want to see, or, you know, and he basically, then JB sent him a dick pic, and then he told him his age, this fake age, which makes no sense to me. If it's me and I'm trying to get someone caught out for being, you know, talking to kids, I would say that very early on, maybe within the first 5 to 10 minutes. It just makes no sense to me why he would have a full-blown conversation over multiple days first, get a dick pic from JB, and then tell him his age. Yeah, and that's what the theory is. Like, I think everyone, and I mean I think everyone kind of is kind of agreeing, is that we all kind of think he's in the closet now. Like, and I'm not saying that as an insult. I don't want to say like, oh, he's in the closet. What my issue was is that it just seems like, why is he always trying to get pictures of JB's dick? You know what I mean? It's like, it's really weird. And like, as a straight guy, I've never really wanted to look for other people. I don't go around asking for people for their dick pics, especially the same person over and over again. And that's what makes, that's kind of made everyone suspect, including you know, members of the community who are bi and all that, gay, bi, you know, they even say that it seems a bit sus, and you know, I don't want to, like, because that's the thing, like, you know, I typically will let people who are gay or bi kind of speak up about stuff like that, because they typically have more experience with, you know, having to deal with being in the closet, coming out of the closet, that kind of thing, you know, being telling everyone. And even then, like, multiple people who were bi have said, yeah, it's really weird that he keeps asking for dick pics. Like, it might be that he's actually gay himself and in the closet. And so again, I don't say that as an insult. I just say that that's kind of what one of the theories
so
is why he was doing that stuff.
Car boss. Now here's where we're gonna steal it from. Me and Yusuf, we got this uncle. Well, actually, he's like a brother-in-law, my mom's second cousin, twice removed, but that doesn't matter. The point is, this dude is rich as fuck. Like, rich. But he's a piece of shit, you know?
But yeah,
real
like,
nasty, real tacky, even got himself canceled. Do you know how bad you have to fuck up to get canceled where he's from? Yeesh. Anyway, he gets stuff shipped across to the US from back home all the time.
This guy will not stop yapping.
Art, gold, guns, and, you guessed it, cars.
So yeah, like,
this particular car is
let me have a look at this, because I have the pictures.
Like Solomon Richards, the movie producer.
I don't have the pictures of his dick, thankfully. Not this time, anyway.
Curb crawling Vinewood Boulevard, man. This thing got a pedigree. It's unique. Yusuf's gonna love it. We hit that cargo ship, it's ours. We just need to scope out the harbor at Elysian Island, get the deets, and make us up a plan, huh?
Interesting. Some of the that's really interesting. Some of the pictures aren't there anymore. Some of the pictures on the actual chat are not there. Huh. I don't think they've been deleted. I don't think so anyway, but they're not there. Unless if they were somewhere else. Well, good thing I backed them up. Because, of course, I had to back them up. Let's have a look. So, I just want to double check the timings, just to be safe. I don't want to, like, say something that's not factually true. So let me just double check the, let me just double check. Oh yeah, like, don't get me wrong, JB definitely moving mad, after that. So it would be, where is it? Where the fuck did I save this now? Ah, found it. So yeah, so the so basically, yeah, AF said to him, "Can you send a picture?" And then JB sends himself like nude. And that was on, it looks like, yeah, that was the day before the age reveal. So he talked to JB for about 5 days. He spoke to JB for about 5 days before getting the dick pic, and then the age reveal. And he kept asking over and over again. Like, he said, "Can you send some pictures?" And then, so JB sends one. He says, "Can you send some more?" And he sends another one. And then he says, "One more." Then AF says, "One more, please." And so JB just kept sending more and more. So he asked him multiple times to send pictures. Like, why would you need that? Like, you can just get them off Instagram. Why would you start, like, why would you ask him to send pictures when you could just get him a fucking Instagram, like, if you need pictures of him? He kept asking. He asked like 3 or 4 times for pictures from JB, and eventually JB did send. He says, "I know, but I want more pictures of you. You're handsome. I only have Monday off. Send me the pictures. I want to see you skateboarding." He just kept asking him, "Can you send me videos of pictures of you skateboarding?" And then yeah, it basically just kept going until eventually he sent him that. And then his response was, "Wow." Like, you know what I mean? It's just weird. Like, I don't know, it just feels weird. And then he reveals his age after that. So he had spoken to him for 5 days before revealing his age, which is really weird. That's what makes it, like, sus, because it's like, but again, I don't know, maybe I'm different, but like, I would not like talk to someone for 5 or so days before like revealing my age if I was trying to, you know, catch someone out. So it's very odd. It's very odd. Nobody playing Fortnite. Yeah, I'm pretty done with Fortnite now. I can't play it anyway because I have arthritis in my finger. I went to a doctor about it. I went to an actual like a consultant, and they do suspect that it is actually arthritis in my finger. Like, it's actual arthritis, not just, you know, people saying arthritis. They actually think yeah, that it's actual arthritis. So yeah, it's pretty yeah, so I won't be able to really play games much anymore. So, not like those kind of games anyway. So that's why I'm kind of retired a little bit from things like Fortnite. I'll wait and see what the medication does for it, but yeah, there's no guarantees. You hope in GTA 6 you'd have to store guns in your car instead of pulling out your ass? I think they are. I think that's what they're doing, Kaden, so I don't think you'll have much choice. Unless if you mod it. That's not normal. Any normal person wanting to bait someone does age early into the convo. That's what they do. Like, even like when, you know, when the professionals do that, where they try to kind of get kids to like, you know, to like, they try to catch out people doing weird shit. They usually will reveal it very early on the age, because that's what you have to do if you're going to do it, because otherwise it's not really admissible. Anything from before the age isn't really admissible as evidence. AF was going to take the fall for all of us. I mean, like I say, he didn't... AF didn't need to do anything. Again, I don't think there was some, like, holy mission. I don't believe that there was some holy mission where he had found out 2 months before that JB was doing bad things and he needed to catch him out and, you know, to save anyone. He's not some holy prophet or, you know, second coming of Jesus. I genuinely think, from what I've read and what I kind of gathered, is that I think that he never intended for it to be... It was never planned out. It was just kind of go with the flow. And so, from what Lewis has told me as well, is that the original plan was just to kind of fuck around with JB and then that was it, just move on, you know, just normal, you know, like how we've always done that, you know, like we've done that in the past, like fake accounts with each other, fucking around, you know, like I've never had an issue with people having fake accounts on the stream or the Discord, but that kind of gave, you know, but from what Lewis has said is that, yeah, it was meant to be just just a silly fuck around situation, and then that was that, move on. But then obviously AF decided to take it on and do more, so I don't think it was planned. I don't think it was like all thought out. Could you fuck off? Thank you.
Oh, you! Was
you
I
wouldn't...
banging your broad last night? God, she's a bucket.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it, Dean. Like, no one normal has that kind of level of, like, time. Like, I couldn't, like I said, I don't mind if people fuck around a little bit with each other, like, although now we've cracked down on that now, but before, I never really gave a shit if people fucked around with each other too much, as long as it wasn't, like, to that extent, but fuck me, man, like, after that... After that, yeah. So I don't think it was some, like, I don't think it was some holy mission that AF makes it out to be. I think it literally is just, he did it on the fly. My theory is, my personal belief is he was doing it, Lewis did the initial setup, and it was just meant to be like a, you know how Lewis does, Lewis just fucks around a little bit. That was what it was meant to be, and Lewis has said as much to me. Lewis has said as much that he just wanted to fuck around. He wasn't meaning it to be anything more. So originally it was just gonna be a little fuck around, and that was going to be it, you know, but then AF, I think, got into it, and mind you, the Instagram account was AF's. The original messages were on Discord between Lewis and JB, and I've seen those messages, and they're all very tame in comparison, and then that's when AF stepped in and wanted to have him on his Instagram. So it wasn't even like he was planning to catch him out, because it was literally started as an extension of Lewis doing, you know, just a bit of a mess around. It wasn't AF who started it, it was Lewis. He just did it as a little mess around, but then, yeah, then AF took it and made it more. And that's when he said to, he wanted him to message him on his Instagram, so he had, you know, full control over it. And that's where Lewis stopped interacting. Pretty much. I mean, yeah, like it was way beyond, and then that's why, again, I don't think it was planned, because again, if it was planned, AF would have been the one to set it up in the first place. It wouldn't have been Lewis. If it was planned, AF would have cracked on with the age thing straight away. He wouldn't have played around for 5 days with this kind of on-off, non-committal conversation that they had, where like it was just very obvious it was not like it wasn't like too focused. There wasn't a focus with the messages. It was very obvious that the messages were just kind of like, you know, all over the place. It wasn't like there was a focus. Oh yeah, this is what we're going to focus on. This is what we're going to get. And so I think from what I've seen, yeah, I think it is just a situation of AF taking it way beyond what it was. And then trying to... And he may have very well heard that JB was up to something, or he may have, you know, I don't know. Again, it's not for me to really... Without proof, I haven't seen any evidence. Yeah, like I've not seen any evidence of what you know, of the situation that he had where someone had said that he had been chatting up young people. I've not seen any evidence of that. He hasn't offered any.
We've got trouble, man. Security checks, personnel up in the
He's got to live with knowing how much he's fucked for all of us lot. Yeah, I mean, he's basically... I mentioned this earlier, Dean, like... He always wanted to cause a stir. I think AF has always wanted to cause a stir. He's always wanted to have that influence. He's always wanted to have that you know, that effect. And he did. He had an amazing effect because he's destroyed any community, like, coordination we were going to do. We were going to do all the different, we were going to do the tournaments. We were going to do, you know, just different things like that, play around with like a G-Fred style thing. He basically killed all of that. All of that is dead. Like the tournaments, that's completely gone. That's dead. That's it. You know, he's killed a lot of the feeling, the way that we, you know, the kind of freedoms people had, the way that people could be fairly self-moderating. That's gone. You know, that's not a thing anymore. You know, it's... Yeah, I don't know. He's basically killed a lot of that stuff, and he's also killed a lot of that, you know, yeah, he's just killed a lot of the vibe. You know, he really has. He's achieved the thing he always wanted to achieve. He always said that. He always wanted to achieve. He always wanted to do some craziness, and he did it. He fucking did it. He did such a good job of it. He basically, permanently destroyed that, so yeah, for the wrong reasons. Remember you said this, always nice to new motherfucking strategic warfare. I mean, I suppose the one benefit of it is that, yes, I think that it will be more welcoming to new people because there will be a lot less of the old lore, a lot less of the old ways, and, you know, there will be a lot more of a... You know, there won't be any of that anymore. But at the same time, it does kind of feel like, yeah, he did kill a lot of what made it fun, you know? He really did. He really did kill a lot of what made, I think, the community quite fun for a lot of people. Cargo ship. Oh, good. I need to do this one. But, yeah, I mean... What's done is done. That's the thing. Like, what's done is done. Like, we can't change it. We can't change it back. We can't stop it. You know, he's done it. The feelings will always be there as well. Like, even when he's unbanned in the future, the feeling's always going to be there. Like, you know, like, I'll never look at him the same way. It's as simple as that. I'll never look at him the same way. That's the reality of it. I'll never look at him and go, yeah, you know what? I can trust him. I can't trust him. That trust is never going to come back. I can never trust him now not to do that again. And I can't trust... I'll never be able to trust him ever again the way that he once was. Yeah, and that's the thing, yeah, like, he doesn't realize where he's gone wrong. Like, he doesn't realize that what he did was way beyond the pale. Like, it wasn't a reasonable thing to do in the first place. Like I said, if he really did hear something from someone, he should have came to me or Rebecca, and he should have said, hey, look, I've heard this about JB, here's the proof I have. And then we would have looked through it, and we probably would have had Dean and Yassine look through it, like much like we did with this stuff. I would have, you know, we would have been like, yo, we need to talk about something that we've heard from AF about JB, and we would have had a discussion about it. We would have gone through it, made sure that it was like, you know, is this legit? You know, what exactly is going on? that obviously never happened. He got proof, but he did it himself. Like I said, I still don't know whether he had any proof in the first place, and the intentions behind it is wrong. Like, if you know, if he really did just do it because he had heard from someone else, again, why not just show us the original information, the original evidence? Why not just message us that and talk to us about it instead of going through this massive show? And then same with the whole reveal. He could have just messaged me quietly or messaged Rebecca quietly about it and be like, yeah, look, I know I should have been doing it, but I did. I was messaging him, I was catfishing him. I know I should have done it, but I did, kind of thing. Yeah, this is what happened. Like, you know, but then he posted it. He made it into a big release, a big event. It's like a sporting event. It's like a fucking sporting event, you know, big, like the fucking fight in front of the White House. It's like, it's the wrong approach. He thought he was gonna get away with it. I mean, he wouldn't have though. If he had sent it to me and Rebecca, I would have sent it to Dean and to Yassine in the in the chat that we have. So I would have sent it to them too, and then we would have, you know, then discussed it. So it wasn't like, it wouldn't be like we would just cover it up. Like, you know, I don't know, I don't know if he thinks that we cover shit up, but I mean, we've never covered anything up. Like, whenever something happens, we're very, you know, we're very open about this stuff. We've always been very open in the past with things like Ogsy, you know. We never kept that quiet, and fucking Ogsy, you know, he got fucking banned straight away. And that was with Dean and Yassine. Like, literally the second that Dean and Yassine started saying, oh yeah, I think Ogsy's a bit weird, and then started explaining what the fuck was going on with Ogsy, bro got banned. Yeah, like, that's the thing. Like, I mean, literally as soon as, I mean, I didn't even have any, like, actual, like, I didn't even experience Ogsy doing it, any of that, because I wasn't on that server, but as soon as Dean and Yassine both mentioned their concerns about it, that was it. That was it. That was it. There was no question about it. No fucking... There was no, like, oh, maybe it's a mistake, maybe not, you know, let's keep this to ourselves. It was like, boom. Boom, out. And yeah, we always do put it in, like, we always mention it in the community. I always do a write-up. Rip Shaw and the Greys shot him like a dog. Yeah, they did. So yeah, like, if he really felt that, like, something that, you know, I don't know why he would feel that we would, you know, keep it secret or anything. Like, yeah, Yassine brought it up first, and then you mentioned that you had some, you know, weird feelings of it, and that was it. The thing is, as well, Dean, is that, like, I get why you didn't deep it at the time, because, like, you don't anticipate people being weird like that. You always want to look for the best in people. Like, that's like the thing, you know. That's why AF never got banned years ago, because we always try and look on, like, the good side of people, right? And AF, yes, he's been a problem in the past, but we always try and be on the good side, be like, you know what? I think deep down there is some good there. There was something good there. Now I'm maybe not so much, but, like, I always thought that, you know, with AF there was always some, you know, good deep inside. But yeah, after that one, I don't know. But yeah, as soon as that's the thing, like, we've never once hid anything. We've always been very transparent about stuff. What me and Rebecca would have liked in this situation was if AF had sent us the images privately, and then we could have then taken the time to discuss it without being rushed, and then we would have been able to deal with it as it was. AF would have still got time. He would have still got a month. I think would have been He would have still got that because he shouldn't be going around doing, you know, catfishing in the first place. But he would have got like a month. But because of the way he went about it and the way that he revealed it all, that's why he got the 6 months. Well, 6 to 9 months. If he had been, as I said, if he had just approached us privately, quietly about it, and let us handle it, he would have, he would still got some time for it, but he would have, that would have been it. It would have been done, month, done. He wouldn't have taken down anyone else with him. It wouldn't have, you know, Kasiga, Lewis, no one else would have gone down with him. But yeah, it's the way he did it. It's the way he did it. It's the way he. Yeah, it's just the way he went about it. Yeah, I mean that's it pretty much, Caitlin. Yeah, it's just the way he went around it all was just so off. And yeah, like I said, he would have still got punished for catfishing. Don't get me wrong, like we can't have people doing that. It's weird. But it would have just been a straight punishment for catfishing. That would have been it. That would have been it. The rest of it would have been, you know, ignored. It would just be a straight punishment for catfishing. I would have talked to JB myself, like I did in the end. I spoke to him. I did speak to him, and I did speak to JB. I did talk to him. He did try to hide it. I was like, I said to him, look, bro, can you just be honest to me? Like, just once, just be honest, bro. And honesty will be a lot better for you here. And he couldn't. He kept hiding it, and that was it. But I still would have done that. I still would have chatted to him. I still would have, you know, the outcome would still be the same for JB. He would have still got what he got. But AF would have got a lesser sentence, yeah. The mission where Jack is missing is annoying. It is, isn't it? It's a bit annoying. But that's just what you gotta do. Like, you know, you can't have people catfishing. You know, you can't have people doing stuff like that. It's weird. That's why my feelings on it is that I don't hate JB. I just feel bad for him more than anything. I just feel bad that he doesn't have the care and the support he desperately needs. He desperately needs care and support. He needs a good support system. But AF, he annoyed me. He's on my shit list. And that's not gonna change anytime soon. I think AF I'll never trust him again.
Shit. Chopper's heading for you. You're going to have to deal with them before you can fly out of there. You better find something to defend yourself.
Yeah, like Krim is. Oh shit! Oh my god! There's everyone in the bloody military. Well, not military. Merryweather's here, but bloody hell. Yeah, I think he's become worse since Krim, Dean. I remember him when he first came by back in 2018, and he was actually about 14, and he was a lot better, actually. He was a lot less, I think that... Oh my god, why is everyone here? What the Bro. Oh, I suppose there's an anti-air thing there, isn't there? I should have gotten that. Oh, well. I should have got the anti-air. Oh, well. He tried to explain the DMs. When I read those DMs, he didn't do any explanation. He just basically tried to cop out. He tried to shift the blame to JB. He tried to shift, you know, he tried to make every excuse about how he already knew this, he already knew that. He was just being a good, honest person. He was not doing anything wrong. He was just being a good, honest person. And when I look at that, I'm not like impressed by that. You know? because when I look at him, I don't see a good, honest person. I see someone who wanted to just fuck with someone and then got something out of it he could use and thought, ah, that's perfect. I can now destroy this guy. Rather than being like, there was no good intentions there. It was just bad intentions from the get-go. It was just, you know, he just wanted to hurt, which is not right. You understand why RDR and GTA 5 had checkpoints. Games like the game is kind of easy for you if you don't need to use that thing. Oh, you never understand it. You never understood the checkpoints. It's because most people these days are not very good at games. Let's just be. I mean, look. I don't want to shit on young people today, but like, if you go back to say the NES, the games were way harder back then, and every generation the games have got slightly easier, except for games like Elden Ring, where they actually try to make the game hard. But a lot of games these days have been made easier for the general public. Oh, you never understand skipping them because some people just want to build a. You know, some people just want to do story. There's lots of people out there that just want to do story. They don't want to do anything more. You know? Like, if you're someone... Let's say if you're an old grandpa and you want to play an old Western game. You know? Just let them play. Who cares if they skip through? But no, anyway, so that's anyway, that's the situation with AF and JB. There is not going to be any change on it. Like, JB is jailed for at least, well, banned for at least a year. He is banned for at least a year, with his current ban being 2 years. We'll reevaluate it next year. And then, as for AF, we had a discussion about it recently, and the consensus is yes, he will retain the 6-month and 9-month period bans that he's had. So he'll be timed out on Twitch for 6 months and then Discord 9 months. You just want to forget about it. Yeah, I agree, to be honest with you. Like, I think it's good to just kind of, I think it's good to make sure that everyone's aware, everyone's on the same page about what will happen, what's happening. But yeah, for anyone who, just to make sure everyone's on the same page, yeah, he is he is still in there for 6 to 9 months, and that's done. There was no interest at all by anyone to there was no interest at all by anyone to lower that by half, which says a lot. And that's the thing, like, because the way I look at it is, I think, like, if you said, like, if it was like a year ago, I think Dean and Joe probably would be a little bit more forgiving on it. I think Yassine would have been more forgiving on it, but yeah. Money drop. I've got no money to drop, sorry, bro. Yeah, exactly, Dean, exactly. Like, 2020 AF was a funny Don. He was funny, and he there was some great moments, but I'm not gonna lie, 2026 AF is a disappointment at the moment, and that's the best way. Oh my god, Dean. This guy, he's gonna read that. He's gonna read that, bro. He's like, what the fuck? Left him with an image. But yeah, no, he was, as I said, he can definitely recover in the future. I think that there's no reason at all that in after his ban, if he wants to come back from this, he genuinely wants to come back from this. After his ban ends in, well, it's not 6 months now, it's about 3 months now, 3.5 months. When that ends, he needs to come back and completely you can fit on a toilet. What? You can't fit on a toilet? Oh my god. Yeah. He's got to put some mad work in. He's got to come back from this, and he's got to like really, you know. I mean, really, the best thing he could do. I'm gonna be real about this. He could genuinely be sorry for what he did, how he did it. That's if he wants to come back, and the best way, he needs to genuinely think about what he did. He needs to genuinely think, you know what? I fucked up on that. I shouldn't have done that. It was wrong. So he needs to think on it. He needs to really consider what the fuck he did and why it was not right. And he needs to think on that. That's the best thing he can do, is completely think about it and understand, you know, not just say he understands, but actually understand why what he did was not right. The approach he went and the way he was going to reveal it and all that stuff. He needs to understand why he's better. He would have been better off just, you know, speaking honestly and decently to us. Yeah, have a good one, Charlie. Enjoy. Good luck to you. Hopefully you can find someone who has some money to drop. But yeah, no, that's what he needs to do. He needs to come back from this in a complete, fresh way. Understand where he went wrong. Understand where he needs to improve on that. Never do it again. That would be a big help too. And yeah, that's the only thing he can do really, if he wants to come back and actually be, you know, liked again. But again, I'll never trust him again. That's done. Like, I can't trust him after that one, because it's like, who's to say he wouldn't do it to someone else? Like, why does he act that way towards people he views as being lesser, like easy targets? Is it because JB had autism? Like, is it an autism thing that he thought, ah, yeah, you know, easy target? Or is it because he just thought JB was easy? I don't know. But that's the thing. You have to wonder. And we can't have people that go around targeting people with autism. You know, that's not right. So, because we have a lot of people in the server with autism. And even if we didn't, I still think you should treat people with respect, even if, you know, even if you think, oh, well, you know, they're weird or whatever bullshit. Bro, like, for one, you're weird. You're weird as well, you know? And that's not just to AF. Like, whenever people think, oh, you know, that guy's weird, well, you're weird as well. Everyone's weird. I'm fucking weird, bro. You know, like, can't be treating people with autism like they're weird because, or, you know, you don't like something they do or how they act. Because you're weird too. Everyone's fucking weird. So, be a decent person, you know? He had this tag, he put himself as in the masturbator who, and he, oh yeah, he definitely was playing up on that, which, again, like, fine. I don't care if you troll each other a little bit. That's fine. Like, that's okay. If you troll everyone a little bit, cool. But it's just how he specifically would target JB over and over and over again. I mean, people were hating, but not because of anything but they didn't hate him that much. You know what I mean? Like, people were fed up of JB going on and on and on about his girlfriends and stuff like that. But no one hated him to the point where they wanted him to get hurt. You know what I mean? Like, none of us wanted him to get hurt. We just would wish he would stop yapping on about his imaginary girlfriends he would have. Billy Big Balls and all that. But everyone else just wanted him, yeah, like everyone else just wanted him to shush and stop going on about girlfriends constantly. It's like the Andrew Tate type, like, mentality where, you know, you put all your, well, I mean, yeah, you know, like the toxic masculinity where you put all this emphasis into being in a relationship. It's sad. It's like, bro. You spoil the guy for time, they piss you off. Yeah, like that's it, you know, like he was pissing people off. But like no one wanted him to get hurt. Like, no one wanted him to go and have all that happen to him, you know? Everyone just wanted him to stop talking about constantly going on about his girlfriends he doesn't have. There's nothing more jarring to me than hearing other men reduce their entire life to whether they have a girlfriend or not. It's really jarring to me because, for one, why do you think so lowly of yourself that you having a girlfriend is what makes you have any worth? That's really, like, that pisses me off for one, but it was also sad to me. So yeah, like that annoyed me. Like, why was he constantly learning himself whether he had a girlfriend or not? You know, no one gives a shit if you have a girlfriend or not. That doesn't make you any more worthwhile or less in life, you know? That's that stupid online way of talking, you know, where people online are like, oh, you know, you gotta have a girlfriend or you gotta be in a relationship, otherwise you're you're nothing. I hate that shit. And yeah, like, then he was taking it, like, he was getting really, like, always, because whenever we would tell him, like, bro, shush, stop with that, he would then take it as a challenge to then to start, like, a war with us. Like, oh, you know, 1v1, and, like, at first, yeah, it was hilarious. Like, don't get me wrong, like, first, it was great having a 1v1, put him back in his place in that sense, but then he would just go on and on and on about it. Constantly. 1v1 this, 1v1 that, and he was shit at 1v1ing. And eventually I just broke, and I was just like, right, bro, if you're gonna start talking about 1v1ing, then I'm just gonna be real with you, bro. You're shit. Like, just calm down. Like, I actually prefer that. Like, I've always preferred that in my life. If I'm shit at something, and I'm like going on about how great I am, I'd rather someone just tell me, bro, you're shit. Like, I've always preferred that. But then I never do. I never go on about how great I am, because I know I'm not. I know I'm okay. I'm good at some things. I'm definitely good at some things, but I'm definitely not the best. You know? Even at my prime, I could get beaten by other people in the stream, other people in the server. And in games like Fortnite, yeah, not even close. Not even close. Like, I had some great moments, had some great times where, especially in Chapter 5, where I was cooking. But, nah, not even close. Like, he would just never go, he would never stop. Nah, AF didn't need to do it like that. AF didn't need to put him out of his misery. It was... What AF did was not right. Two wrongs don't make a right. You know? At the end of the day, the only person at fault when it comes to dealing with JB is me. I should have dealt with him sooner. I should have punished him. I should have timed him out. I should have, you know, dealt with him early on instead of letting it get that far. That's on me. That's on me. And I regret that. I regret not actually doing something earlier. And that's why now it would be dealt with. Like, now, with the new moderation approach, that will not happen. Because as soon as it starts getting to the point where someone is specifically targeting or being, you know, like, specifically being antagonistic, they'll get a warning, and if they do it again, it will be a timeout, and then if it happens again, it will be a full, like, you know, that's it. You get a full timeout. And then if you do it again, it's a temporary ban for a couple weeks. So, like, I mean, I mentioned it before, but yeah, basically the new system is you get one warning. That's it. If you're doing something and the moderators think that, you know, what you're doing is, and it can be for many different things, but specifically antagonistic, in this situation, let's just talk about antagonistic situations. In an antagonistic situation, you'll get a warning. All right? You'll get a warning. You'll get told, stop doing that. You'll have that opportunity to stop doing that. If you don't stop doing it, if it happens again, you get a 5-minute timeout and another warning alongside it. If it happens again, that's it. You timed out for the day. You won't be back for that entire stream. That stream is done. If it becomes a thing where it's a regular occurrence, where, you know, every day or every couple of days it's the same shit, it will then go up to a week or a month, depending on the severity of it. It will be like, you know, and that will be when we talk to you directly and we'll be like, look, stop, because next time, that's it, you know, we don't want to hear it, it's not right, you know. And if it's someone like doing it, someone's causing them to be that way, like if let's say it's AF causing the situation, then the other person will then get a timeout as well. The other person who's aggravating the person will be asked to stop, and if not, they will then get a timeout. I mean, that's it. That's exactly it, Dean. Like, I tried to treat them like they're adults, they can handle themselves, and also that I like them, and I'm like, well, you know, let's just leave it at that. But yeah, that just went too far, you know. It just kept going, and yeah, it should have been dealt with. It should have been just a simple, yeah. I do regret that. I do regret not. I mean, I didn't think I would have to do that much for... Like, I didn't think I would need to do that much. Since everyone's adults, right? Everyone here is adults. I was like, well, okay. You know... That's all we need to do. But, yeah, so anyway, that's the thing. From now, it will be a lot more, like, dealt with, you know, in future. So, again, fair warning to everyone. Timeouts will be a lot more proactive, and the warnings will be a lot more proactive. And like I said, if we start seeing a pattern long term, and the way we're also going to do it is that when it comes to following the rules, even if you're within the rule guidelines, it's not about the words, it's about the spirit of the rule. So if, say, for example, you're technically within the rules, because AF was very good at technically following the rules, so he would never get timed out for it, because he didn't break any specific rules too often. But it's clearly that he wasn't following the spirit of the rules, he was just following the word. And so now, as well, if you break the spirit, even if you follow the words, if it's obvious that you're using, you're trying to get around the rules, but you're not really following the spirit of them, yes, then you'll also get a warning and a timeout. We haven't seen Philly for 2 years. Who's Philly? But he's a UK influencer. Well, what did he do? You're about to get the chapter for second time in RDR2. I love how you read. I really love that you're like really getting back into RDR2 again, Caitlin. Giving it a second playthrough already. You know, I actually love that I don't keep up with any of these, like, social influencers and stuff. Sex yes, I 2 or 3 women. Oh, God. Bro, I'm glad I never really, like, know these people, because, like... I find that, like, with the internet, you're gonna be disappointed more often than not, you know? People, you know, the amount of people that I've, like... thought, this guy is alright, and then they turn out to be either nonces or they end up being weirdos. Tom Skinner. Yeah, it happens way too often.
So while you...
Yeah, like it happens way too often, like where you genuinely, you just genuinely don't know what they're like until it's too late. I know the irony of that, of me saying that as a streamer. I hate saying streamer because I'm not really a streamer. I'm just a guy who plays games on stream. I just record myself doing it, but you know what I mean? Like, I know the irony of that because it's like, well, you know. Because like the amount of people that stream or do YouTube and then they say, "Oh yeah, imagine doing that," and they end up doing it. Yeah, I know. I'm not, I'm not blind to the irony there, but oh, sorry, Joe. I hate killing the lifeguards because I just think of Joe now. Only touch people in places they're comfortable with and consent if it's a private area. A lot of people don't seem to understand consent, yeah, and a lot of people don't care, which is the two issues. Like, a lot of people don't understand, like, it's so normalized for people in the UK, especially older people, to touch you on your shoulders and stuff, and Rebecca hates that, for example. She hates being touched by other people, but it's so normal for the older lot at her work to touch. Whereas I'm very much like, if I need to get someone's attention from behind, if they're friends, if I'm friends with them and I spend a long time, yeah, I'll tap them on the back. If it's someone I don't know very well or someone I work with, they're just gonna get a simple, "Hey, excuse me," from behind. That's it. And I might wave my hand a little bit, you know, when I just do like a little wave, you know, one singular wave to kind of indicate. That's it. But a lot of people don't understand consent, and it's very sad. He tried to make a comeback good 6 or so months ago, but you don't heard anything since. The thing is that in today's world, honestly, I'm gonna be real, in today's world, having, like, sexually assaulting people, let's be real, isn't gonna really be a hindrance when it comes to success, let's be real. I hate to say that, but it's not. I mean, you know, you can look at the President of the United States, you know, well-known rapist. You know, that's a perfect example of someone who's only ever fallen upwards. So pretty much anyone in the Epstein class, anyone in the Epstein regime, they're fine. No one cares. You know, one of the richest man in the world. Yeah, 100%. He's 100% done some weird shit. No care. No one cares. You know, the most powerful man in the world. Again, no one cares. You know, and then you look online and you see people like Andrew Tate. He's very successful, even though he's a horrific person. You know, it's not a hindrance anymore, I feel. You know? Like, I think it's really sad that, yeah, we live in a world now where it's normal to be successful after doing that. Whereas, like, I don't know. I think it says a lot about the people that support those people more than anything. Like,
some good money for an alternator.
you know, like, let's say if I like someone, right, and I find out that they've sexually assaulted someone. Let's say Jamie Foxx, for example. Jamie Foxx is a good example. The guy who plays Django in Django Unchained. I loved Jamie Foxx. I really did. I love Django Unchained. I love Jamie Foxx. I thought it was fantastic. I really enjoyed him, right? Loved him as Electro as well in Spider-Man. And then he says that stuff about the guy with Tourette's. Okay, that's fucked up. I didn't like him much after that. But then after I heard about him sexually assaulting women, yeah, I'm done. That's you know, that's where it's like, yeah, I'm done. Like, I didn't like him after what he said about the guy with Tourette's. That's bad. But after the sexual assault stuff, when I found out, yeah, I'm like, yeah, I can't deal with someone who does stuff like that. It's weird, you know. It's just, yeah, I can't deal with someone who sexually assaults people. That's fucked. That's so fucked up.
Bye.
The first guy was racist. He's not racist because it's the way that his brain works is he says the most inappropriate thing that enters his head, right? So he knows the N-word's a bad word. He knows it's bad. To him, it's the worst word that he could possibly say. He knows he should never say it. And that's why the brain then acts that way, because the brain picks. It's like, you know, when you think about something and something fucked up comes up in your mind. Have you ever had like a situation where, like, you know, normal people, a lot of people get it like, I shouldn't say normal, people with neurotypical people, they get it where, like, if you stand on the side of a bridge and sometimes you get that feeling, oh, I should jump, right? I should jump. Well, that is that he hasn't got that filter. And so what happens is his body ends up pushing him to do those things. You know, that's why he ends up saying stuff he doesn't want to say. He yelled it. It's because the reason he yelled it is because with Tourette's, you can't really control the sound of it. So he yells, and he yells quite a lot. If you've ever watched any of his old documentaries, he yells in those as well. There's a perfect example that is of things he says that he doesn't mean. Is he was standing at the side of a road with his dog, and he would keep telling his dog, "Go on," as the cars were coming, saying to his dog he loved, "Go on." And the dog thankfully knew not to listen to him, but he would say that, and that's like, you know, that's fucked. You know, obviously, you know, you'd think, oh, why would you want your dog to die? Well, he obviously doesn't want his dog to die. That's the worst possible thing at the moment to say is go on to your dog to run into a road where there's a car, and that when you understand the way his brain works and the way that it's not by choice. No one would want to live with Tourette's. It's a horrific thing to live with. I would never want to live with Tourette's. It's horrible, absolutely horrible. He's been beaten up. He couldn't even do his exams back at school because he started having Tourette's around the time he was at school. He couldn't even do his exams. They wouldn't let him sit his exams. So basically, he never had any qualifications. He got beaten up multiple times for misunderstandings. He couldn't work very easily, and it took very understanding people to eventually understand and appreciate that. And yeah, why against Black Dons? Well, again, because that was the thing he in his brain he would have known. His brain would have seen, okay, there's a black guy, N-word, and he would have been fighting it. It's not his choice to say it in front of black people. It's not his choice. It's the opposite of what he wants. That his specific type of Tourette's as well is literally the opposite. You end up saying and doing the opposite of what you want. So if you ever think if say a neurotypical person said, in their head they thought, because if someone we all know the N-word, right? We all know the N-word. We all know it. We all know it's bad. We know not to say it. And it's in his head, and and unfortunately, when it enters his head, when it enters my head, I think, okay, don't say that word. It's bad. Okay, cool. It goes back into this inside of my head. That's it. I forget about it for a little bit. But to him, when that word comes into his head, he can't just say, okay, don't say it. Go back into the filter. He just, that's it. Once it's on there, that's it. Has to come out. So, so the other guy was doing a music tour in Australia, and he had this girl he took back to his hotel room. Sexually assaulted. Essential. Found out she wasn't the only one accusing him. Oh God. Oh, I think I've heard of him actually. I think I've heard of him. I'm pretty sure I heard about that, but I just didn't know who it was. The story about someone with Tourette's had the. Oh, this is the club. Said he called the police, saying he killed them, and I killed them. Yeah, he did that as well. He was in. When his friend died, he actually told the police, I killed him multiple times. He literally said to the police, I killed him, it was me, even though it wasn't him. His friend had died just from collapsing. I can't remember what happened to him, but he basically died of natural causes or something. And yeah, he ended up, when the police came, he basically kept telling them that he killed him. No, it's not controllable. It's proper Tourette's, like actual Tourette's, is not controllable. It's completely not controllable. It is a full. Your brain is completely fried. The wiring on your brain is off. It's like let's say if you go and do a plug. Let's say you get an electronic plug and you rewire it the wrong way around. Let's say you put it so that on is off and off is on, right? It's the same kind of thing. The wiring is off. And so sometimes, when he wants to turn it off, it goes on. When he wants it on, it goes off. It's just how it is. His brain is wired differently, unfortunately. And there's not much you can do about it. Once you develop Tourette's, usually when you're stressed at a certain time period of your life. He lost a lot of his life. He was a good football player. He wanted to join. He was being scouted for Rangers, Berwick Rangers at the time, but Rangers, one of the largest teams in Scotland, and that all went out the window because he couldn't control it. He basically had a very hard life until he got, he thankfully got some attention, medical experts and stuff, and yeah, he ended up doing quite well from it in the end, but it was a hard struggle. It's not an easy life. Like, living with a disability is not easy. It's a very hard life. You know, it's not a cushy life. It's a hard life. What's Tourette's? Tourette's is a medical condition where you typically get a thing called tics. So there's various different types of Tourette's, but the one that we're talking about in particular is well, he has physical Tourette's too, where he like will hit people. He sometimes will hit people on his right. He's hit. Unfortunately, he's hit a friend of one of his the mum was one of his friends. He became friends with one of the mums, and she took him in and looked after him. And he would hit her even on camera by accident. And he has a very unfortunate form of it where it's very verbal. And yeah, it basically in his situation, things will enter his head, and he can't control saying it. So he, you know, let's say, like one of the things he said is, you know, his mum's friend's mum's dying of cancer, and he literally did. Her name was Dottie, and he even says, "Dottie's dying of cancer" right in front of her. And that's obviously not him saying that. He thinks it's horrible that she's dying of cancer, especially because she was really kind to him. And he says that to her, and he hates it, and he apologizes. And she's like, look, right. One, you don't apologize in this house. You know, which is so important. She said, you don't apologize in this house. In this house, we know that you got Tourette's, so we know that it's a problem. We know it's a disability. Don't worry about it. Don't apologize for it. And yeah. You don't know about the yelling, something sus going on. No, it genuinely is just stressful. He chose to sit at the back because he wanted to sit away from everyone else, like further back. So he sat right at the back. They put a microphone near him, which was the dumbest thing. I don't know. I mean, if someone said to me that someone else set him up, I would potentially believe that, because there was no reason for a microphone to be where it was. But yes, he sat at the back, and then as soon as it happened, it happened a second time, and he left after that. He left, and then he reached out privately to Michael B. Jordan and all that. He reached out privately and apologized privately. And, you know, as far as I'm aware, they've not said anything, probably because they understand, you know, the ramifications of what they're saying, whereas Jamie Foxx was an idiot and just decided to open his mouth, which is ironic considering that Jamie Foxx had a sister who had Down syndrome, which is a different type of disability, but still something where you got to have understanding, and you would think that Jamie Foxx would have a little bit more understanding for it, but he didn't. Billie Eilish has some form of Tourette's. She's got some staring tic, you think? She might, honestly, there's been so many varieties of it. I mean, I know someone who had a very light tic that they had for a few years when they were very stressed during GCSEs, and thankfully it went away through treatment, through getting help to kind of control it, but it's very light. But sometimes, as I said, some people just can't ever deal with it. It's just, you know, it's just life, unfortunately. It's not a fun thing to have. Like, everyone was talking about how I wanted to fight him and all that, which I find funny, because the amount of people that said stuff like, I loved how many people were saying, oh, it's so lucky that, you know, I wasn't there because he would have caught these hands. I'm like, bro, these motherfuckers would have got absolutely fucked in Scotland. I would have loved some of these dons who were saying, oh, he would catch my hands. I would have loved for them to go to Scotland, because they would have been beaten the fuck up. They would have been absolutely beaten the fuck up in Scotland. Like, they may be able to, you know, do what they want in America with their guns and shit. Come to Scotland and try to mouth off like the way these guys did mouthing off online. Honestly, I just thought to myself, you know what, like that, he basically had so much support from Scotland and from UK in general, but Scotland especially. And I was just like, bro, if these dons want to really be brave, go Scotland. Go where he lives and try to mouth off there, because I guarantee the local community will be out 5 minutes after. They'll be beating the fuck out of them. They'll be beating the fuck out of these dons. It was crazy to see everyone pick a side. It's not really about sides, though. It's literally a disability. Like, you can't... The way to deal with bigotry is not through bigotry. The amount of people I saw online unfortunately, from the black community saying stuff like, segregate him. Why should he be there? Lock him away. You know, he shouldn't be out in public. And I'm like, is that not the exact same thing that white people said about black people 100+ years ago? Why are you out in public? Why are you here? Go away. Leave this country. You know, you don't fight bigotry with bigotry. You fight bigotry by understanding. You fight bigotry by understanding the other person on the other side. And that's what has helped black folk more than anything, is people taking the time to understand and to, you know, to kind of appreciate what life is like for the other side. And so to see so many people, it was mostly black Americans, British, black people in Britain were actually quite calm about it and were like, yeah, like, shut the fuck up. But it was mostly black Americans, unfortunately, who were very loud about it. And I'm like, look, I get it, but you don't fight bigotry with bigotry. It wasn't even bigotry, it was a disability. It wasn't even a fucking, it wasn't like he was being bigoted. It was it was a disability. It wasn't like he was meaning it. But you don't fight that by being bigots yourself. You know, it would have been so easy for them to come out and say, you know, it sucks that it happened, and, you know, it's not great. It does suck. The word hurts still. But why are you targeting someone who's got a disability, who can't control it? Like, we can't control the skin color that we have. We can't control our skin color. We can't control any of that. He can't control his disability. He doesn't have ability to turn it off. Just like you can't change your skin color to white when you feel like it. You know, that's how it should have been. That's how any reasonable person would have responded. Any reasonable person would have said, yes, it hurts. It really fucking hurts. It sucks. But like we can't change our skin color, and we shouldn't have to, he can't change his disability, and he shouldn't have to. He has the same right to live his life as we do. And then it could have been made into a lesson about... It could have been made into a lesson about, like, sticking together, and that, you know, minorities will stick together, and that, you know, we're not going to allow, you know, us to be, you know, we share more, you know, we share more together than we do apart, kind of thing. It's so easy to make a real good message out of that. But their response was just, you know, ignorance, which is really stupid. But if you know, that's the thing, and even if you play into the statistics side of things, let's say we go into the statistics side of things. Statistically, disabled people have worse outcomes than neurotypical black folk, you know? So if we're going to play the statistics game, which I think is stupid, because the statistics game, there's always a group that's worse off than you. But let's say if we play that, then you could argue disabled folk, especially people with Tourette's, are way worse off in terms of employment success, relationship success. You know, they're much more likely to commit suicide. So you could really play into the statistics and say, well, that group is actually way worse off. Which, again, I don't think really works, because we shouldn't be trying to break people into groups. We should be saying, hey, why are we attacking each other once they're uplifting us all? You know? That's what I'm looking at. That's how I look at it. I know I'm coming from it from a you know, a straight white, you know, all this very, 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 you know, privileged on, but, like, I don't know, if it was me, I'd be looking at it going, you know what, let's take this as an opportunity to improve everyone, so that everyone is better off. This is an educational moment. This is an educational moment for both. An educational moment for that the N-word still hurts. It still hurts, it still means a lot, it still has really negative connotations, but at the same time, hey, this is a disabled person. This is someone who's lived their life with a disability that struggles every day as well. Like, why are we fighting each other? Why are we not being, you know, why are we not backing each other up? Especially against the rich white man, who is the biggest privilege of them all, the rich white man. But instead it was just an unnecessary attack on each other. But if they harm us, we can't let it slide. Like, Black Dons don't harm white folks. Well, look at it this way. If someone who's disabled, let's say if I'm out and a guy with Tourette's, let's say if a black person with Tourette's starts calling me a cracker and starts saying all this shit about me being a whitey and all this shit, what would you say my response should be? Should I go, oh, how fucking dare you? I want to beat the fuck out of you? Or should I just be like, well, it's a guy with Tourette's. I mean, why would I get angry about it? Why would I turn to violence over a guy with Tourette's? Like, you know, that's how I'm looking at it. Like, if someone said to me, even if someone came up to me and they had Tourette's and they said something horrific, you know, you're you know, this, that. Let's say I'm at hospital because I'm with someone who's got cancer and they say, oh, you know, your mom's going to die of cancer, ha 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 ha. You know, whatever their ticket may be. I'm not going to get angry. I'm not going to go and turn to violence over it. I'm just going to be like, well, it sucks I had to hear it, sure. But I mean, what am I supposed to do? What is he supposed to do? Or are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to just not exist because they have a disability? Like, is that what we're talking about here? Is it that if you've got a disability, you should be punished if you hurt someone else? Or if you have a disability, you should just not exist? Or you should just be put away? Like, because then we could turn the argument around and say the same thing about black folk back in the day. Oh, well, you know, put them away. Put them in, you know, or Jews in World War II, you know, put them in camps. Like, it's a slippery slope when you start looking at things like that. That's why you know, you have to have knowledge. You have to be willing to learn, even if you don't understand it, you know? I think, to be honest with you, most people that turned around were angry because of the stupid things that were being said towards this guy. I think that, and I know a lot of people, I've read a lot of people saying the same thing, that they never thought that what was supposed to be a progressive community, because that's what a lot of black, you know, folk online especially really made them out to be, really progressive. And a lot of people are like, so you're progressive when it comes to black issues, but you're not progressive when it comes to disability. Because that's hypocritical. You know, you can't frame yourself as being a progressive individual when it comes to one thing but not the other. You know, if you view disability, if you view people with disability as lesser than just because of something they cannot control, then you're no better than the person, the white man who used to say that about black people back in the 1800s. It's just as simple as that, you know? You have to, you know, if you can't have understanding for everyone, you're not really progressive. You're just a racist in a way. Because that's what a lot of it came across as. It was just like a bunch of people being, oh, well, you know, fuck this white don, you know, kind of thing. It just felt really weird. It was like, well, you're not really progressive, are you then? You just want to be in the position of power that the white man used to be in. That's not a solution. The solution isn't for black folk to take over where the white man used to be. That's not the right solution, or any other race, you know, Asian or whatever. The only solution is everyone works together. White, black, Asian, Native American, whatever you may be, everyone should work together. No one person, no one group should be the one in control. The next oppressor. You know, the oppressed become the oppressor. That's not right. That's not any better than than what was there before. It's everyone should be treated with respect. You know, regardless of color or gender or anything like that. Everything should, you know, and disability, everyone should be treated fairly and with understanding. And likewise, if some, you know, it's like if someone comes from, you know, a third world country in Africa and comes to my house and they do something that's maybe looked at as being weird here or inappropriate or, you know, but even potentially rude. I'm not gonna get angry at that because they just don't know any better. If someone comes here from another place and they, you know, and they don't know any better and they say something that might be rude, I'm just gonna say, hey, look, just as a heads up, that is a bit rude. But, you know, at least that's something they can control. They can learn from that. But disability, you can't change that. You know, if you're disabled, you're disabled. If you have Tourette's, you can't just learn and stop. You just have to, you know, make do. So that's how I'm looking at it. That's how I'm looking at it in the sense of that, you know, you can't. No one should be hounded for something they can't control, whether that's skin color, whether that's gender, whether that's sex, whether that's, orientation, whether that's, whatever, whatever it may be, you shouldn't be hounded, you shouldn't be punished for something you cannot control. You can be punished for doing something stupid. Well, it's in your control. If it had been a bunch of white dons saying the N-word because they thought it was edgy, yeah, 100%. I'd be in complete agreement there. I think that, if it was a bunch of neurotypical dons that were just doing it because they thought it was funny, 100%. Book thrown at them, punished. 100%. No issues at all. No, not one issue about that. I mean...
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
this
completely
is it.
fine with stuff like that.
Everything's in place.
But when it's
You
someone who
ready to go
can't
full
control
silent
it,
mode? 'Cause if anything's worth boarding
then
a
it's
ship
not
crawling
right to
heavily armed
punish them
private
for something they
security,
can't control.
it's
Like,
this
as I said, I would never punish someone. I would never say to someone, oh yeah, you should be ashamed for being black, or you should be ashamed for being Asian, or you should be ashamed. Right? Shouldn't be ashamed for being who you are. That's who you are. That's what you were born as. What you're born as is what you're born as. You can't change that. You should never be ashamed of that. And as I said, I think that the solution to the whole Tourette's thing would have been, the better solution would have been an educational situation where I think that cooler heads should have prevailed. And as I said, people that had thought about it should have come out and they should have said, hey, look, it really is upsetting that the N-word is still a thing. And it hurts. It really does hurt. It really is horrible. This is, it makes us feel like a lot of what we've achieved means nothing. But in this situation, it was a guy with a disability who's in the same kind of situation we're in, where disabled people have still got to fight so hard to get the same recognition. And we are still fighting for recognition. In the black community today, we're still fighting to get our recognition. And that's why we're here tonight, because we're here to get our recognition. And likewise, he's here tonight to get his recognition as part of the Tourette's community, as part of the wider disabled community. And so we're all here tonight to spread our message, to help, to get people to understand the black community and what we're doing and how we're trying to progress, and how, and likewise in his community, in the Tourette's community, they're trying to get recognition, to progress, to get more acceptance, and to be on the same stage as we are. And we're proud to be on the same stage, because at the end of the day, we're both oppressed minorities who don't get enough recognition in the things that we do and the accomplishments we've made. That would have been a fucking amazing message, and I think anyone with any decency would have been like, fuck yeah, that's a great message. I would have been all over that message. Such an easy win. Oh man, it's such an easy win if someone had come out like, if one person had just come out with that, one person had come out and just said, hey, that's what we're looking at. Bro, I'd have been all over that. I'd have been like, that's level-headed right there. That's a level-headed person who I think would have done a lot more. But I think in the end, it just, yeah. Didn't come out like that, and so it just ended up pissing everyone off. So black folk in America are pissed, and then people with disabilities were pissed, and yeah. Now that I don't really think it's funny with Jamie Foxx. Like, I just think Jamie Foxx, he's got a lot of support. He's got a big fan base, regardless of the shit he's done. And I just think it's a shame that he didn't, especially considering his experience with his sister who had Down syndrome, and his work with the Down syndrome charity that his sister was also involved with. He could have come out and said, he could have really made a difference there. He could have came out and said, look, I get everyone's really upset right now, but let's calm down, let's think it through here. Let's think through this. He could have done some. He could have just had someone even explain it if he didn't understand it to him, and then he could have came out and said, "Look, let's. My sister had Down syndrome. Black people with Down syndrome are oftentimes ignored. Let's not. Let's not fucking be stupid here. Let's let's have a discussion about this and how life is still very difficult for people with a lot of disabilities. He could have done some he could have really cooked with that. And yeah, he unfortunately was not level-headed with it. No lives lost, reached the bridge undetected, over 80% skylift health remaining, 10, 10, 10. Alright. No lives lost, reached the bridge undetected,
Grab your ride and
over
head up
80%
to the doors.
skylift.
I'll be in touch. Oh, and by the way, that getup is fresh.
I mean, that's why I don't know, I just don't, I find that like a lot of what I see online, people just fighting and wanting to be outraged over nothing is and there's the fact that no one wants to learn, take the time to understand. Because as I said, I fully understand why black folk were feeling really shit. I can fully understand it. I can fully understand it's a horrific word, and it really, I can understand. You know, on that night where they were supposed to be celebrating, but I can also understand the other side, and I think that if everyone had that same capability to kind of say, you know what, I can understand both sides, I can understand why it hurt, but at the same time I can understand, you know, not everyone has that choice. So many people just choose to instantly jump on it and be like, well, that happens, so fuck that. And I think the world would be a better place without Instagram, without Twitter. I think that's done a lot of damage to this world. Reached the bridge undetected, no lives lost, over 80% skylift health remaining. Okay. So I've got to get to the bridge without being seen, so stealth. And then I got to... What's Iran saying? Iran is a very sticky situation, completely unnecessary by Trump. He's basically just fucked everything for loads of countries, so... It really sucks because that won't be something that can be fixed. How do I climb a board? Ah. That won't be something that can be fixed anytime soon. That's something that will take, you know, years. And it will probably mean that, like, the problem is that the problem with what Trump has done, no one's ever going to trust the Americans again, ever. Because how can you trust a country where they can elect the same idiot twice? Like, after the first term, a lot of people were willing to kind of, you know, to forget, because they were like, well, okay, fine, you know, America would never do that again, right? Well, they did. And so a lot of people now are like, well, if they can do that again, who's to say they want to let someone like that again, you know? I don't like the way he turned around like that. That's very sneaky. Yeah, he's fucked it. He's absolutely fucked it. The annoying thing is that, like, the frustrating thing is that it was kind of told for, you know, ages beforehand that this is what's going to happen. Fuck off. Well, restart. But yeah, like, cause like, I'm gonna be real. It was so obvious. It was so obvious. like beforehand that he was gonna fuck it up. I mean, I'm gonna be real. I don't know. I don't understand how people didn't see it. You know, the Republicans lie time and time again. Trump especially lies. He doesn't even know what day of the fucking week it is. It was obvious that he had dementia before he ran. It was obvious that he was mentally unhinged. It was obvious that he's gonna cause mayhem. I mean, I don't know what to say about it really, because like I already knew, I already could see it, and I think that the thing that really frustrates me is that other people couldn't see it. I could see it from the second that he started running. I could see that he was gonna do this shit. I knew he was gonna do it. I knew he was gonna cause issues. And I just wish that other people could see it. But the problem is that people don't really... I don't think people really think enough about these things. Like when they vote for people, I don't think people really think enough about what they're voting for.
There's the boss.
I think it's part of the issue with the internet today. Everyone is just voting based upon vibes, you know, the same thing as social media. Everyone's just doing things based on vibes rather than what the history is, what we've seen. Like the thing about Trump, the second term of Trump, is that we already saw everything we needed from his first term. Anyone who had watched his first term knew he was not a good president. And I think there's a very big divide between people that had actually paid attention to him and people that didn't pay attention to him in the first term. The people that paid attention to him in the first term knew he was shit. Whereas the people that didn't pay attention in the first term, well, they didn't, apparently. Apparently. It is. It's just vibes. It's very sad, and I think, you know, when it comes to life, it should never be vibes. Like, there have been servicemen killed, American servicemen dead. There's men being brought back in coffins. Their children will never see them again. Their wives, their parents, never see them again. Their husbands, in some cases, they'll never be seen again. And he's golfing. He's off on his golf course golfing. He's not there. He's not, you know, he's not there. He's not sitting down and you know, he's not really, he doesn't care. He doesn't care about these people. To him, they're losers because they died. He said it before. He said it before multiple times that if you die in war, you're a loser. If you die, if you get captured or you die, you're a loser. Because only winners come back. Mind you, this is the same man that never went to war himself. He was too terrified to go to war, so he got out of it, which is, you know, used his rich daddy to get out of it. He's never served, he's never fought, he has no idea what it means to actually wield the gun that can decide someone's fate. He doesn't know what it's like to actually be in a situation where you look, you know, like when you're shooting someone else, you have to understand that, like, you're taking a life. And if you have never been in a war yourself, how can you tell someone else, if you've never been in a war, how can you tell someone else to go and do that? And to just, you know, and yeah, it's horrific. Like, and to mock, just, you know, to mock veterans, which he did. Mind you, this was before his first term. He mocked someone with disabilities. He mocked people who were veterans. He's mocked American servicemen before, who even, you know, ones that are alive. And I'm just like, people vote for that. People vote for a man and thought he wouldn't do this. I don't get how they thought that. I mean, when you think about his first term, he had decent-ish people around him. You know, he had some shitty people, but he had some good people as well that kept him in check. So there was some, but even then he was terrible. Even with advisors, he was shit as a president. Absolutely terrible as a president. And people saw that and were like, yeah, I want that for second time around. Whereas Biden, he wasn't the best speaker. And yes, he was very old and tired, which Trump is as well, and Trump's actually worse now. But what I liked about Biden, and what I think people misunderstood with Biden, is that Biden surrounded himself with fantastic people. People that knew what they were talking about. Scientists, He didn't just put some guy with a worm in his brain up on, you know, as the head of the CDC and all that. He had scientists who headed the scientific side of things. He had military generals, decent generals who knew the cost of life and knew what happens if you go into a war, what happens to the other, you know, to both sides. He had economists who knew what needed to be done. He had people that knew, and anyone from Europe would have understood that, because the reason I think Europeans saw Biden as being a little bit better than what Americans did is because in Europe we're used to the idea of ministers. In the UK, Keir Starmer, right? He's not a dictator. He has ministers. He has ministers for different departments, and you're only as good as who you surround yourself with. That's the fact of it. At the end of the day, you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with. And so I think that's the issue with Trump, is that he surrounds himself with absolute shite. And so he doesn't know what he's on, and then they don't know what they're doing. So, I mean, yes, Americans do mess with other people. That is true. That is 100% true. Democrats are just as guilty, although I wouldn't say they're just as guilty, because most wars started by American presidents are Republicans. That's not even up for debate. That is a fact. I mean, Americans, it's almost always Republicans that start wars. I'd say, I think it's like 80-20, something like that. But don't get me wrong, Democrats are still bad with how they deal with things. But the difference between Biden and I imagine Kamala is that I don't think Kamala would have done anything to Venezuela. I don't think Kamala would have done that, personally. I don't think she would have done that. I don't think the situation with Iran would have got as bad as it is. I think she would have preferred to tell Israel to just stop fucking around. I think that there would be no discussions about Cuba. And on top of that, she wouldn't have burnt bridges with NATO, because he's complaining and crying about how, oh, why are the allies not coming and helping us? Well, he shit all over our soldiers. He said that our soldiers, you know, he was talking shit about how our soldiers weren't fighting on the front lines, you know. I'm like, bro, more Danish people as a percentage of the population of Denmark died in the Iraq war than what the Americans did. Why the fuck are you shitting over it? And then also threatening to invade a nation that is part of NATO. And also part of Europe. Like, to invade, to even threaten to invade Greenland. But like you said, yeah, how can you, what a motivating message to have that happen. To have someone like that talk shit about you and your loved ones. And the thing is that what upsets me is so many Americans will vote for that. There's so many Americans out there who have had loved ones lost in wars, but they cannot accept that maybe that orange man is actually a bad guy. It's a cult-like thing. If a political party or a politician upsets me, I'm going to vote for another one. It's as simple as that, right? Keir Starmer has upset me in some ways like this, like with the war. I'm loving him. I love what he said. I love that he's not getting involved. I love that we're not sending troops. We're not sending any of that. I love that. I'm a big fan of that. Some things he's upset me on. But either way, I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna be diehard for Keir Starmer. When the next election comes, I will see if I'm still gonna vote for him. I may not. It depends on what the alternatives are offering. But there's a difference between cult-like where people are with Trump, and just maybe being quite a big support. Like, I'm generally quite a good Labour supporter. I do like a lot of what Labour does. But I'm not going to protect them no matter what. If Labour fucks up, they're done for me. And that's a problem a lot of Americans have right now with Trump. It's like he could literally shit in their mouths, like literally shit in one of their mouths, and they would eat it and be like, thank you, sir. Like, there is something seriously mentally wrong with these people if they're able to look at that and still be okay with what he's doing. But that's what America's done. That's America's problem. And the way I'm looking at it as a British person is that I don't want to get involved. I don't think any of our soldiers should die for America. I would not support sending troops. I would not support sending anything to really help. I would rather that the British would just stand by. I would rather we stand by, wait and see what happens, and then be part of the solution, hopefully the negotiation. I want to know, I want us to be there, like when it comes to it. Yes, I want us to be at the table, and I want us to help broker a peace, but I don't want to be sending troops. And I want the Iranians to know that, hey, look, I don't agree with the Iranian regime. I definitely don't agree with the Iranian regime, but I want the Iranians to know that we're not supporters of this. We had nothing to do with it, and we want nothing to do with it. You wonder what DSN's saying about it? I think that he's quiet about it, because I think that he might be slightly embarrassed that he voted for him. I think that he might be. I forgive DSN because DSN. I mean, it depends how he's reacted now, but I do forgive him if he does realize the mistake, because of course he was young, and he was very young, especially when Trump was in his first term. He didn't maybe know as much as he does now. I'm not going to get angry about a young person being fooled, but I would hope that he would not be for it. The funny thing about RFK is that RFK was also a nutter. He was just a different type of nutter. Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, like, I like DSN. I still like DSN, even though, you know, I just wish I could understand. I just wish that I could, like, understand why. Like, I think it's because he was young. I think that he grew up in a very conservative place. He's young. He didn't really know the extent of what Trump had done in the first term. So I can understand that. But I just wish that, like, you know, I just wish that maybe you'd done a little bit more thinking about it. I hope he does some thinking about it next time. You don't think he even knows that you rate him like that? No, I don't think he does either.
Hey, motherfucker!
I think it's fine, because I got to the bridge, right?
Got the codes? There should be a terminal in the bridge with cargo info. Could help us
We
find
won't
our
see
car.
GTA 6 at this point. I mean, wouldn't it be funny if Trump is the reason we don't see GTA 6? All the people that like Trump will fucking regret that.
Alright, you know what you're looking for? Time to put those bolt cutters to use and break into those containers.
AI is taking over big time. I think that we're gonna hit a limit at some point, because the problem is a lot of what AI is creating demand to fulfill it. You're supposed to fulfill demand, right? Demand happens, and you're supposed to fulfill it. You're supposed to create stuff to meet it. But the problem is a lot of AI is not actually filling any demand. So what they're doing now is they're having to create demand. That's why they're pushing AI so much on, you know, like everyday life, because they need to create that demand to justify all the money they're spending on it. But I don't think it's going to really... I don't think there's really enough demand for it. All right, Dean, have a good one, bro. Thanks for stopping by, bro. Have a good one. Like, I'm gonna be real, like, I don't really see any major use for it outside of, like, very specific, you know, it's got some use in medical, you know, for imaging and stuff, but it doesn't really help in any other way. It's just time wasting. Like, a good example of that is a lot of people now use AI to write emails. So what used to be a single sentence email, so you would write, you know, if you needed something, you would just simply write what you needed, straightforward, to the point, and then the other person would then write back and, you know, read it and write back. But then what happens is someone started using AI for one side, and then what you get is a situation where everyone's using AI to save time. So in the end, what should be a 30-second email ends up being a multi-minute email, when eventually the summary doesn't work properly and you need to read the email and it's full of absolute shit that you don't need to read. So what was supposed to free up your time ends up actually taking more time. And so that's what I mean by you have to create the demand to fill it. There's so little demand for it in actual use.
Come on!
All right, there we go. Had a cough really badly. But yeah, no, I think that we're going to hit a point in the next couple of years where a lot of these AI projects will actually collapse. And when that happens, it's going to be an absolute shit show, because all these companies will have spent shit tons of money on something like that, just end up just not using it, and they're going to have to justify that. A lot of them are in debt. I think we could see a collapse of a few big companies like Oracle. Whether the US government will let it collapse, I don't know, because I know that the owner is friends with Trump. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see Oracle collapse. I wouldn't be surprised if we see, you know, I don't think Microsoft or Google won't collapse. Google's way too they got way too much diversification for that. Microsoft, I don't think would collapse, but they definitely will. They definitely will feel it. I think that Nvidia is fine because they still produce a huge amount of actual stuff that people want to use. So Nvidia can just go back to using, just selling stuff. They don't need to worry about that.
Actually, though, my pilot sees it and is on the way.
Come in, team leader. This is Golden Bird. I see your flare. Coming for the pickup now.
So yeah, it really just depends on the company, but I think that, yeah, there's gonna be I think a lot of companies are realizing now this shit literally doesn't do anything for anyone. As much as the people on Reddit try to make it out, you know, the tech Reddits and stuff, where they're like, oh, it's absolutely revolutionized my productivity, and I'm like, yeah, okay, sure it is. I love that people try to, what they call vibe coding, and I'm always looking at that and I'm like, that shit is so inefficient. Because the time that you spend having to review the code to ensure that it's not something wrong with it ends up being way more work than just writing it yourself. The amount of time you gotta spend, and it's way harder. When you write your own code, you know what you've done, for the most part. You know what you've done. And so you know where to look, you know where, you know roughly what everything's everything's doing. But when you review other people's code, and especially AI, you're using a different part of your brain. You're having to use, you're having to analyze. You're having to take the time to analyze what's going on. You don't have any shortcuts because you didn't write it. So you've got to analyze what has been written. You have to make sure it's actually doing the right thing. That takes way more time and effort than just writing yourself. I'll be real. Like I've used AI in a few areas of my life in the past to try to see if it would help, like to do things like appointments, to do things like like schedules, mostly boring admin stuff, schedules, appointments, emails and stuff like that, to have it organized and stuff like and decipher what it needs. But I end up taking more time reading. Like the summaries are so shit that I'm like, well, I might as well just read the email. And that was easy when emails were, like I said, when they were shorter. But the problem with AI is that, yeah, they get absolutely inflated with shit. And then you need an AI to speed it up because you're taking so long reading them. I'd rather just send a quick email, one sentence to the other person, one sentence back, happy days, everyone's happy. It's like dollars are still suppliers on GTA thing and they save money. It's misguided, yes. It is a misguided thing. People think that it will save them more time and energy than it actually does. Yeah. Whenever I've had AI do something for me, I've ended up just doing it again myself. Way more efficiently, way quicker. With no issue of user error. Because, I mean, perfect example, the head of Meta's AI, what was she? She was supposed to work at Meta to ensure that AI wasn't misused or something, and she used this piece of software with AI agents in it, OpenClaw, I think it was called at the time, or whatever it was called. I can't remember what it's called now. And it fucked up and it started deleting her emails. Head of Meta's, mind you, someone who works quite high up at Meta, probably gets paid quite a lot, and she had to quickly log onto her PC to make sure this thing didn't delete all her emails, because it started thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna delete her emails because that's what she wanted, and she couldn't disable it. She couldn't convince it otherwise, so she had to log onto her PC and manually turn it off. And I'm like, you could just not have that and just read your emails like a normal person. Nah. So she ended up wasting all that time, all that effort, almost fucked up her email account, all because she thought it would be easier than doing it herself.
Back to the yard as soon as you can. We'll get our guy to fix up any dents. Oh man, I'm itching to whip that shit around. Can I sit in it? Just like take a few pics for my snapbatic, you know? No? That's cool, that's cool.
The one thing AI is really good for is just making slop, and that's it. It's very good at making slop. It's very good. Like, look at YouTube. Look how YouTube and Instagram and all that, it's all just slop now. It's just AI generated videos. It's very good at wasting time, very good at creating content that people with brain rot would appreciate. That's where it's great. But as for productivity, yeah, outside of a few niche cases, there have been some promise with things like image detection, like for cancers and stuff, and medical stuff where I think it can be very useful there. Don't get me wrong. I think it can be very useful in terms of medical for catching things that maybe a human misses, or just to run it through as a quick detection for a human. But the problem is with AI, as it always is it rots your brain. So what happens is that you use AI once, you use it twice, you use it 3 times, and then suddenly you end up becoming used to it. It's like if you use it for a job, right? Like, let's say the risk here for medical is that medical professionals will look through all your, they'll look through an image and they'll try to detect what, see if they see anything. If they become so reliant on machines doing it, that eventually they might miss stuff because their brain is not used to catching stuff anymore. If the machine catches it, let's say 80% of the time, what happens with the human if they then end up, reduces their efficiency and they can't detect it as easily? Because then you have the issue where the human ends up becoming worse, and then that ends up potentially causing people to lose their lives. And so this is the thing with AI, is that it can be a useful tool in some cases, but I don't think it's as big as I think people think it's going to be. I think there's going to be a big crash in the next couple of years. I can see it now, a big crash happening. I think there will still be an AI. I still think there will be AI use, but I think it will be I think a lot of companies will kind of back off it. I think that we'll see a lot of companies stop using it. A lot of companies will, they'll just kind of be like, you can use it if you want, but we're not going to push it on you anymore. But the problem with that is, will it generate enough money for these, companies that sell it? That's the issue. We're at that point now. This is another reason I keep saying that people shouldn't get used to it, because the cost is going to start skyrocketing now. So at the moment, these AI services are very cheap. Well, they're free. They have lots of free usage. Then they have very cheap options, $20 a month or whatever, and you get like unlimited or whatever. I don't know. I don't use them, so I wouldn't know. But the point is, they're still fairly accessible for the average person. But then that price goes up $30, $40, $50, $60. And eventually you're going to be in a situation where you've outsourced all your thinking capability to a machine. That what happens when you can't use that machine? What happens where, you can't even think for yourself what to make for dinner or how to make dinner? And then suddenly you're kind of beholden to this outsourced brain. Then you're going to have to pay the price. You're going to have to pay the money. And the problem is, of course, is that if you're just gonna, if you outsource your brain and you can't, that doesn't really help you in a lot of jobs, some people will use AI in jobs and they'll help them, but the problem is that if you don't fully understand, that's because you at some point you have some understanding of what you're doing, but if you have no understanding of the job, how are you supposed to do it? And that's what's going to happen. A lot of people are going to have no understanding of any jobs they do. I mean, the amount of people that I see, you ask them a question, you ask them one question like, oh, how do you do such and such? And they go on their phone straight away to fucking ChatGPT trying to figure it out. And I'm like, that person's gonna be fucked in the in the working world, which is why we're seeing such an issue right now with young people in work, because I think a lot of that is coming true, where young people are struggling to get into the workplace because no one can trust that they'll know what they're doing. That's life. But I still think it's gonna, I have a feeling it's gonna collapse. We'll still see some of it. It'll be like crypto. It'll have that big build up. It will collapse. It'll still be around. It just won't be. It won't be there. It's because the same people that fell for crypto, the same people that fell for NFTs, they're the same people that fall for this AI. It's the gambling side of the brain, where they think, I'm going to be the first of that to make money. If I'm there first, I'll be the one that makes the money. I'll be the one that succeeds if I'm there first. So they go, I'll be there first for crypto. That's why they would, every time there was a new crypto scheme, they were there. Or if there was, it's the same thing every time. They think they'll be the first. They'll be the first to make the money. They'll be the one that becomes rich. But it never is the case. The case in the end is inevitably, yeah, it just doesn't work. So I think it will still exist. It just won't be as big. I think it will cause Oracle maybe to collapse and a few other companies to really restructure. We'll see a lot of companies have to cut a lot of their services will be cut back because of the costs they've had to pay. Microsoft is very vulnerable for that. I could see Microsoft. I mean, we already see it with Game Pass. Prices have gone up, risen massively on Game Pass because I think Microsoft is obviously now realizing that they need to pay these things. The cheap money early on is going to dry up, and then yeah, it will still exist, but it just won't be. It won't be as big. It'll be there, but it won't be as big. It'll still exist, but I don't think it's going to revolutionize the world. The only time I could see it revolutionizing the world is if they achieve actual intelligence, actual artificial intelligence that can think for itself, has its own, that actually has the ability to actually think, has its own consciousness. But until that point, I don't see the current ones. We're already hitting these limits where they're not really improving as much. I have, the difference between GPT-2 and 3 was huge. The difference between 3 and 4 was big. The difference between 4 and 5, not so impressive. And yes, I've seen it improved in terms of things like different variations of it. Different ones. There's specific ones that are designed for programming or designed for medical. And yes, some of them can really do some great things, but I just don't see them. I just don't see. When I look at this stuff, I don't see anything impressive. I just think to myself, well, it's very mediocre. Yeah, it's all about at the moment. We're in that phase of it's all about creating the demand to fulfill the capacity that we have, and yeah, it's just pointless. It won't go anywhere, I don't think. It will hurt a lot of people in the meantime, though, because prices will rise along with the Iranian war. That's going to raise oil prices, and then it's going to cause prices. And then obviously now we're seeing it with technology prices are going up. RAM is at sky-high prices. I'm so glad I bought the RAM I did back in the day. 64 gigabytes of RAM, £200. Now it's like 1,000 plus. I'm so glad I bought it when I did. All for what? All for a bunch of... And then inevitably when it crashes, these companies will come begging the consumers to buy stuff again. They'll be like, oh, please buy our graphics cards. Please buy our RAM again. And it's like, well, you fucked us over. Why should we help you? But whatever. Dropshipping dawns back in 2010s. It's that kind of mentality. It's the same as the scalpers today with the Pokemon cards. Is there's always people out there looking to try to get ahead of everyone else, and they're so desperate for it, and it just doesn't work out. The best way to wealth, is genuinely just working towards it. Like, work hard at school, get to know the right people so that you've got ways into these jobs, get into a decent job, be personable, be reliable, be a good worker, know your worth, be willing to leave if they're not treating you well, they're not paying you right, willing to leave, move, also knowing when to stay, knowing when to stay and when to be loyal. If you can play the game and navigate it well, you can end up making a lot of money at a very young age. You could, by the age of 40, you could have a fat pension, your own decent, nice size house, everything. If you know how to play it and you're willing to play it. So many people want to have the quick route, but it doesn't work.
What's up? Laters.
So you get very lucky. The new Xbox Project Helix looks promising. Yeah, I mean, it pretty much is just a PC like what people were speculating. The price of it is going to be disgusting, though, at the moment with the prices of everything. It's going to be absolutely disgusting. I don't like how they're trying to put Copilot in as well, gaming Copilot. I already know how that shit's going to go. It's going to be like, oh, hey, Copilot, I don't know how to finish this level. Can you help me? And it just plays the game for you. You're just going to outsource your playing of your... You're going to outsource your gameplay to a machine, probably. That's what's going to happen. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't really... I don't really know what to think of it yet. I need to see more information on it. But yeah, it seems to be roughly what everyone was speculating. It's just a PC. It's just an Xbox PC. Pretty much it. So we'll wait and see how it all fares. I don't know. whether it will be a better value than buying building a PC yourself. I mean, at the moment with prices, Microsoft could, if they were willing to, they could be willing to subsidize it, but I don't think they will. After that massive cost that the Xbox, after how much money they pay for Activision and how much money the Microsoft is investing in AI, I don't think they're going to have the money spare to want to subsidize it this time, so yeah, I don't know, we'll see. Nice. Alright, well, I think that's it. I think I've done what I needed to do. I've got the cars salvaging at the moment, so they'll be making me money over the next couple of days. I've done businesses, chop shop. I've got to sell 5 vehicles in perfect condition. Lovely. And then I got, oh yeah, I still got to earn a lot of money. So long. But I've done all the challenges now for the salvage yard robbery, so it's just a couple platinum awards and that's it, pretty much, just money. So I think I'm pretty happy. The dealer, so yeah, I mean, I'll easy do that, yeah. Oh yeah, it's just doing salvage and selling, yeah, it's pretty easy. Steal 20 vehicles as part of the salvage yard, yeah, I mean, it's all on the way. All right, so tomorrow, I don't know if I'll be streaming tomorrow. If I am, it'll probably be GTA. I don't know when I'll be streaming after that. Again, I really don't know at the moment. Everything is up and down at the moment with life and Rebecca's job and all that. So yeah, I'll see what happens. You're getting back on the school grind until June. Well, good luck. Hopefully it all goes well. Hopefully you get the results you're wanting and it all pays off. Yeah, so that's that. Anyone else watching, I hope you have a lovely lovely night and good day tomorrow and all that stuff. And yeah, I'll see you when I see you. Have a good one, everyone. God bless. Bye. I'm not gonna lie, yeah, I don't like this new OBS change. Where's the music? There it is. All right. Have a good one, everyone. Bye. Nope. Oh no, it is on. Okay, good. Bye.